Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony Has 9 Fingers.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, you got a lot of people to introduce. Who would you like to start with?
I guess we'll go with Tyler, the director and stuff.
Tyler, the director and stuff. The director
of The House Among the Trees. The movie that I've been waiting for a long time. We got a little screener, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thank you for coming on, for sure. Then we have, I guess, Wes Robinson, who we've had on before. I think we had most of you guys on before. So
yeah, we've been on a few times, I think.
Yeah.
Where we go next, Tony?
Blair, I guess, because he's in the middle. Blair Hoyle. Hopefully, I said that right.
That's perfect.
All right. And then we have Cullen Lovelock.
Yeah.
What's going on, Cullen?
How are you? Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
coming on. Thank you all for coming on. Yes, and thanks for making a cool movie, and thanks for letting us check it out.
Yeah, man. Check it out.
I watched it yesterday while in my office with the projector screen and everything. So I was like, all right, this is going to be cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and it's a very nice looking film, and it's very well acted, and it's a fun one. So like how did the process start? Like because I know Wes, not only are you acting but you're producing. Was it Cullen? Were you writer?
No, that's Blair.
Oh, Blair. Blair was writer. And actor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And producer.
Yeah. Yes.
And a guy wearing a cool t-shirt.
Yeah. Indeed.
My man.
Okay, we're kind of began, we were on Voldemort's set, and Blair might actually be able to start a little bit.
You want me to tell the story?
But yeah, he tells it a lot better. But
okay. So I guess the short version is Tyler and I and Wes were working on a different project, and things were just going. It was not a very smooth running set for a lot of different reasons, and we were kind of lamenting like how frustrated we were. We didn't feel like we were able to be creative at all in any way, and there was like one Dairy Queen in town that we ate at like 40 times over the course of this production. And we were at a Dairy Queen. It was just Tyler and I. And he kind of pitched the like rough idea to me of like, I want to direct my first movie. I know I want it to be about these three thieves who break into a house and find something, but I don't really have anything beyond that. And he was asking me to act in it. He was like, would you want to act in it? And I was like, yeah, like just send me a screenplay. And he's like, well, there's not a screenplay. And I was like, well, let me write it. And that kind of just snowballed from there. And here we are. Like
he did a fantastic job. We were talking about that earlier. Ashton and my fiance and I were talking about that earlier, that you did a fantastic job on the writing.
Well, thank you very much. I love the characters of this movie so much. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of easy to write them, I guess. And like the interesting thing, I guess, about writing it was me, Wes, and Cullen were cast before there was a screenplay. So I was able to write these three characters for the three of us. And like, I just worked with Wes on a movie. I obviously, my strengths and weaknesses to be like, don't give myself these things to have to deal with. and I had seen Cullen in different movies before that, so I guess it kind of came easily in a way.
Nice.
Yeah, it kind of on the screen it portrayed like you guys knew each other for how long, like years or whatever. Just the chemistry between you three. I mean, it definitely. We've said it before, where it's like there's some movies we watch and it just seems like, it just doesn't mix or doesn't feel right. But it seemed like you guys knew each other for years, because on screen it was just like people that knew each other for years. So
yeah, our relationship in real life is almost like the one on screen. Tyler.
It's very funny how it worked out, because everyone says that like you can tell that we've known each other for a long time. But I had met Wes like 3 or 4 months before we shot, and I met Cullen on the first day of photography.
Crazy.
So we really didn't know each other that well until we made this movie. But now
I didn't even know Blair was the writer, to be honest with you. I didn't realize that he wrote the whole thing, and I don't know, just the first day, shooting the first 15 minutes, it was great. Everyone was very professional. They were very open and welcoming to different ideas being thrown at you. That's what I love about Tyler as a director, is something that we can follow the script and we can kind of figure out what to do as we go along. He gives you that freedom. What I love about Blair is he's writing the screenplay, but he also gives you that freedom to be able to sort of pick and choose certain choices for your character. And what I love about Wes as an actor is he allows you to give you that freedom, working one-on-one with him on a scene where you can really just sort of go outside of your boundaries and see what you guys can do when you tag team a specific scene together. So that's what I absolutely love about all of us.
Which Blair being flexible with his script, allowing his actors, or allowing the actors to deliver things in a way that's natural for them, kind of just lends itself to the chemistry too, because then we're bantering and it's honest. It's still following the screenplay, but it's also like has little hints of ourselves in there too. So I think that's what kind of makes it even more realistic.
Nice.
Yeah, and when we were in brief and all that, when we were getting the script going, it wasn't like we were breathing down the necks of everybody on like what we wanted to do. I pretty much, with Jake Capronica, we basically, all three of us were like, okay, here's kind of where we want to go with it and whatnot. And then we kind of just let Blair do his thing and trusted he knew what he was going to do, and he always does. So and he delivered, and like what Cullen was saying about like the chemistry, it just worked, man. It just worked. And this was one of the bigger sets that Cullen and I together. We've known each other pretty much since I moved out here to Georgia. So it's crazy that up until that point, like that was one of the bigger things that we had been a part of, bigger projects we had been a part of. So it was cool to be able to have that experience together. And, especially coming from a side of not writing really a single word of any of this, it was so rad to then be able, for that first time, especially with Cullen, to see, the words come to life and him bring to life this character, as well as, Blair himself and Wes. So it was rad. It was cool.
I don't think I've even told anyone this before, actually, but like when we shot the first 15 minutes, Tyler, since I'm like, Tyler and I, we go back. There's a lot of short films, that we have done together, certain little scenes and things like that. I'm always just so used to like showing up and it's just, him and I and maybe a couple other actors or whoever else is like, helping him out and assisting him with his job. And like I remember coming to set for like the first 15 minutes that we shot, and it was almost like, oh, I can't even touch this man. Like he's got like a whole security, he's like security guard. Like he's got his cast members that are like all around him. I'm like, seeing everyone doing working their certain roles and everything like that. I'm like, wow. Like for that, in that moment was something for me where I realized that like, oh yeah, like we've definitely leveled up. Seeing
that's why I wanted to bring that up, dude. I started to think about it while we were chatting here. I was like, that's pretty cool to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was something I just wanted to share with what you were just mentioning as well. As I just thought it was awesome. Those small
pretty,
things.
Pretty great. I mean, as a fan of film, I like to see people level up, like in that sense. Like I like to see people's progress, and like I can find something good in pretty much every movie.
Right.
Like, even some real stinkers, but like I'll find, if I find something like really interesting and like in a movie, I'll like want to see more from that director because I want to see what they learned or whatever. But it's cool hearing that you guys notice it too. Like you guys notice like a level up, like for a different reason, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's pretty interesting that it's you guys are. I mean, why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you notice that? I guess. But I mean, it's pretty cool that you're aware of it. You know.
I guess I never really thought of it like that. That you guys had done. This is Tyler's first feature director.
Yeah, it was my first feature directing, and I think at the time it was my second overall being a part of Period. And coming, off of the previous project, it was just getting to be around so many talented individuals like these guys, our cast crew, Jake, Alberto, Allison, everybody that brought this film to life. It's just, well, okay, this is the best way to put it. Blair always says this all the time. It's like, make movies with your friends, and that's all I have to say about it. You know what I mean? That's why I was so grateful to work on this film for my first feature, because I had so many people, that I love and care about that were part of this project. And I think that's what filmmaking's about, man. It's getting with people you care about, people that care about the project, and making something dope. You know what I mean? So
I'm sure too, being like the first one, it's tough enough to have all this stuff around you, like learning on the flow. Why not have people you trust or people to make it a little bit easier? Because we, even veterans or people that have been doing it for years, especially like when indie film, you never know what's going to happen. So if you can make it just a tad bit easier, why not?
Exactly, because it's like how, you know what I mean? Especially it's the truth. Is like once you hit a certain level, it's like, are you really going to be making movies with your friends like too much after that point? So it's like, you know what? You might as well do it now and enjoy it and just do it as long as you can and the best way you can. So yeah.
Speaking of friends, Sergio's in the chat. He's in every show, but he's hey guys. And also, I don't know if you guys saw that Daniel John was saying love to all.
Dan.
John's the man.
Dan the man. The man with the big CD, baby.
But yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm sure it has to do with the acting and the writing and everything about it. But it was amazing how quickly I started to care about the characters. And you at first you think you don't want to care about them because these are like guys going in to be the bad guys. But it's like it's quickly like how you're like, well, geez, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like, well, concerned.
It's funny you bring that up because Wes and I, we were just doing a little bit of just looking over the film a little bit, and one of the things we had mentioned was something that his character says, and he says something along the lines of, "I might not be the bad guy, but I'm not you." And
I might not be the hero, but I'm not you.
Yeah, whatever he says,
I'm not you.
Yeah.
We were talking about that because, I, of course, have played a lot of psychos and a lot of people doing bad things. And that's what I liked about, because this is, this character has such a good arc, and they all do, really. And that's kind of what drew me to do it, also with, people that I enjoyed very much. And, I love the idea of trying to produce, and it was like the first time I'd been able to put my hand on so many different aspects of a film. And like right now, we're getting ready to have our Kentucky premiere, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I've been, playing a PR man and just trying to promote it as much as possible, which is something I've never done before. So we'll see how that goes, but I am trying. So.
You're doing a good job because
Thank you.
I've seen it, on a few different sites, but I'm more on TikTok. I seen it there on Instagram. I see it, so it's definitely making its rounds.
It's hard. It's so much, like, it's funny because I'm used to, this sounds bad, but it sounds like I'm used to being the talent, showing up and just like acting and then going home. And like for this, I've, we watched the film earlier just to make sure, we had it the way we wanted it for the screening, and thinking of the promotion and thinking of making sure everybody's, heard, and like just trying to keep the boat moving nicely. And it's been so eye-opening. It really has, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, doing this, you learn as a watcher, a movie watcher. We think we know everything or anything, and we have no clue what goes into making a movie. Like doing this podcast, my mind has been shown so many different things that I thought. And
Yeah.
then it's just like, the behind the scenes, not only, the filming and stuff, but then it's that next step. If you're not a big budget film where you have, commercials and stuff, it's like, how do you get this film noticed or heard or whatever? So it's like,
Oh, it's definitely eye-opening for sure. Just the avenues you have to kind of go down to try to make sure that people are seeing your product. And
Yeah, we're
and
just
we've all-
hearing
we've all
about it.
been,
Imagine he's got to do it.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing, and like we talked to like even Daniel John, who's produced how many movies and like acted in a bunch of movies, and it's just the amount of work that we just don't know what it is. They're like, oh, look at these guys just sitting back making movies, making all the moving pictures, and it's like, but there's a lot of work that comes into it, and then something could happen and the movie could not come out the way you wanted it, and you're like, ah, crap, but I mean, I've seen it happen a lot, but this one came out, I mean, from my eyes, it came out really, really good. So hopefully you guys are happy with it. And
Yeah.
very,
and you,
very
you
much
have a big premiere coming up. Like what are the plans for that? Do you have like is it like going to be like just a one-time thing, or are you going to be in a theater for a couple days, or
Yeah, I'll probably share a little bit of this with Wes, just because he's got a lot more of the details with where the location is. But as of right now, so we're going to be playing the film at the historic Kentucky Theater in Lexington, Kentucky. A beautiful theater. This theater is so rad. It's going to be such a great time. It is the Kentucky premiere of this event, so we're going to have a lot of really cool stuff going on there. And Wes, if you want to get more into it, feel free, buddy.
Yeah, so we've shown House at a few film festivals now. We've taken it to Charlotte, right? We've taken it to Sanford,
Charlotte, Sanford, Nebraska, Atlanta.
Yeah,
Maybe
and we
forgetting
did
one.
a screening in Nebraska as well. And they've all been so legitimately fun. And what has really struck me with it is like the amount of people who, when the film is done, linger to talk about it with us and care and want posters and things like that. I mean, that might be like the typical thing for indie films. I don't know. This is my first real go around with that, but it just seems like people are really enjoying it. And so I actually have never had a movie that I've been in play on a big screen with any of my family or friends. And so I reached out to the theater and asked and said, hey, would you guys like to screen this movie? And we sent them a cut, and they were like, absolutely. So we're making it an event. It's going to be July 17th at 7:30 p.m. You can get tickets at kentuckytheater.org. And that's theater with an R-E, not an E-R at the end. And it's going to be, we're going to have, some merch there. We're going to do the screening. We're going to do a Q&A. All my buddies here on the screen will be there. And then my mom will be there. So that's fun. She probably won't understand what she's watching, but that's okay. So it's going to be super fun. And it's going to be a really nice full circle moment for me because, like one of the films I did in the past was in theaters, and I didn't get to experience that with any of them because I was doing other things. So it'll be nice to experience that together.
Kristen May Johnson, it's going to be a blast.
Oh,
Fantastic movie.
That's my mom.
But yeah, just to kind of piggyback on what Wes was saying about the Kentucky Theater, I'm very excited for this screening. I've played Lexington one time before with a different movie, an anthology that I was a part of, and the screening was incredible. The people really reacted the way that we hoped they would. So I have a good past experience in Lexington, but I'm particularly excited about this theater because the screen is a true CinemaScope screen. So we will see it in proper 2351 aspect.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's no black bars on this one. Like, this is a real widescreen
Hi, guys.
theater. So I'm very excited about that part.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool, man.
That must be sick. It must be awesome.
If I could tell you a funny story really quick, we had screened it in Nebraska, and we had a live bat behind the screen at one point.
Oh, it's in front of the screen, I think.
Oh, I thought it was behind the screen.
Tyler
you
and I
know,
were getting popcorn.
It was in the lobby.
There's
It was in
there's
the lobby, man.
No, but it was in the theater. So during the film, there's a moment where my character kind of hears something above him and kind of looks up, and at that moment, the bat flew back and forth behind the screen. It was like I was actually looking at the bat on the screen. So that was pretty crazy. And I think Blair, where you I didn't know why people were laughing at that part because it wasn't funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens at a fairly quiet part in the movie, which is why Tyler and I left then to go get popcorn and drinks. And while we were in the lobby, we just hear the entire theater erupt into like chaos, and we're like, "What are they reacting to?" And then we found out an actual bat.
Yeah.
Yep. Crazy.
And then the guy who ran the theater, he was an awesome guy. He took a net and caught it.
Yeah, I have a photo of it.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened was then I think I went off to a different side of the theater and was waiting to go in, and all of a sudden he comes running through where I'm like chatting with somebody. He runs through me full speed, opens up this like broom closet, grabs this like big net, and takes off running after this thing. And that's the last I saw of it. But,
So that means it has happened before.
I was going to say it wasn't.
yeah,
it's like-
that is exactly what that means.
Yeah.
because who would have like a random net, especially in like a movie theater? It's like, oh yeah, I got this net. Don't worry.
Well,
So I'm
maybe
sure it's
maybe they
happened
bust
before.
out. They break out in butterflies regularly as well. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's
But
okay.
so you said you're gonna have merch and stuff. You have like what you have cool stuff. Like are you gonna be selling like ears masks or something or?
Yo, listen. That is something we talked about. We haven't dove into that just yet. Yeah, we've talked about that. We talked about some
I'd
other
buy
things
one.
too.
I'm just saying, I'd buy one with the title of the movie right across the
Yeah,
forehead.
that'd be cool.
That's kind of where we're going.
Down.
No, yeah. So we'll have some merch there at the Kentucky premiere. We'll have, as of now, we'll have posters. We'll also have some commissioned art pieces that are regarding the film, which are going to be super super cool. So we have that going on. What else do we have? I think we have a few other things as well. So yeah, we'll have some goodies laying
We
out.
have a certain item that everyone will get that is a nod to something in the movie that people seem to enjoy.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll spoil it, but yeah.
And it's free.
And it's free. Yeah.
Even
Everybody
cool.
likes free shit. Yeah.
Little gift bag.
So you guys did the film festival. You're gonna do the like con circuit, like get a table somewhere and do that kind of deal, or
We've definitely talked about. Yeah, go ahead, Blair. Go ahead, Blair. Go ahead.
We did that once before in Atlanta, and I think we're really well. Like people were constantly at our booth talking about the movie and whatnot. All of us were there actually, so that was I think it was like the first time people could come chat with all of us who were involved in the making of the movie. So I think that is something that we plan on doing as long as conventions and festivals and whatnot want to have us. I think we're all down to come set up a table.
it
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
like
and
they're
there's-
popping up everywhere too. I mean, Jersey, we have three big horror ones, but it seems like every other day I'm hearing from like in the TikTok circuit there was a horror community. And some people are like, oh, I just never have any. And they're like, oh, one popped up. Or Scaracon's coming back. The guys from Fuzz on the Lens is bringing that one back.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think conventions are, just growing every year, it seems. So
Yeah, it's been really fun too because I had a film one time that was in a film festival and I couldn't go, and it's something I always wanted to do was just like go to different cities with the film and just see how different audiences react to it, and we're doing that with this. I mean, we've been to several states now, and then we'll do Kentucky, and then I think we have a few things that might be happening in the future that we're talking about, and then of course things we've submitted to that we haven't heard from yet. So yeah, no, it's super fun, and people seem to be really enjoying it.
Activities with John. How's someone going to
Let's go.
So yeah, if you ever make it out to New England, I'll pop into one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful for that because I love New England. I love the Northeast in general.
Never been and want to go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
There's
Yeah, between New Jersey, New York, there's always a lot of stuff going on. So
We're very hopeful. We're very
Yeah.
hopeful
Yeah.
we'll be up that
I
way.
do have the trailer, the official teaser trailer, the one that's a
Yes.
minute and 8 seconds. I want to play that. So so before I do that though, what's the plan? Like, how long are you guys planning on waiting before you do some kind of like physical or digital release or anything? Just because collector like Tony, no.
So,
Yeah.
as you can see behind me,
That's true. Yes.
we absolutely will be doing a physical media release. Period. The plan right now is to the plan is to continue playing theaters and festivals and conventions and art spaces and wherever people want us, like in a theatrical setting, for the foreseeable future until like wheels run off of that train. We're gonna keep doing that. So that's if you want to see the movie in the short term, come out to a screening. Message us. We're happy to like set up one-off screenings in whatever city that you live in. And we've done that. I mean, that's how this Kentucky screening came to be. Nebraska, same way. Like, it doesn't have to be a film festival. Just like if you have a local theater or art space that does film screenings, we're interested. Message one of us.
We're looking to tour this thing around a little bit before it goes out into the internet.
Once it comes out on streaming or Blu-ray or something like that, like it becomes more difficult to get screenings set up in theaters. So we're trying to play as many theaters as we possibly can before we're like, okay, now's the time to put it out on physical. But we undeniably will have a physical media release.
Well, that'll just add some special features. Do a little QA.
For
sure. Do that.
Few deleted.
We already have a lot of that too. So it'll be a stacked release.
Any film festivals coming to Charlotte anytime soon?
We just
we just
in there, but I can't say when yet. But yes, we'll be playing in Charlotte again this year.
I do have a friend who owns a horror collectible store who hosts a monthly. It's like he does a monthly movie thing at a movie theater, but he doesn't announce the movie until you show up at the theater, so it's a surprise. So
what's his email and his name?
Well, his shop is called JR's Spooky Shack. And but I'll send you his info because maybe that's something he would do.
I think we're all just like, I mean, I can't speak for the other guys, but it's not that like you never have faith in what you're doing, but it's always nice, especially because I've had the opposite happen where people are very vocal about stuff they don't like, and it's always nice when people are like really enjoying themselves, and like at these screens, people are seemingly really enjoying themselves. I mean, it's very gratifying, and I think for the time being, I think we're all extremely excited to keep exploring that option.
Yeah, and there's times where people are vocal about things that they don't like, but they can't even give you a reason of why they don't like them, and they're just vocal because other people are vocal, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but what else is contagious is when people like things. That's also contagious.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like whenever I talk to like other, not everybody's going to like every movie they watch, but as long as you have some kind of creative, not creative, but just like know what you're saying. If you know why you don't like it, just don't say I don't like it. Why? Because I don't like it. Okay, well, thank you for your.
Because they're very quick to tell you they don't like it.
I feel like
hey, by the way, I didn't like that. Like, why? All right, bye, and then just turn around and leave.
I think sometimes people also just don't like things that people like just because they don't want to be in the mold or something. And I'm like,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Sometimes,
there's a lot of like very popular movies that I don't like, and it's sometimes the hype is too much. But I also have reasons as to why I don't like them.
Yeah.
But
fair.
It's not because like I wanted to like it. It just and then also too like sometimes the hype train is too much, so I'll give it time, and then I'm like, all right, I'll give it another shot because maybe my headspace was wrong at that time, so I'll give it another shot. And sometimes my mind is changed.
That is a thing. I've done that
That
too
is-
with other films, and I'm like, oh,
there's no way around. Like, festival hype is a real thing, and like when you see a movie at a festival or at a screening with 300 people who are all having a good time, that you are more inclined to like that movie than if you watch it at home by yourself. Like, I'm a victim of that just as much as anybody. Like, it just is what it is. So like,
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of times, like when a movie's on the festival circuit, people will be like, this is the new like great horror movie, and then when it hits streaming, people at home are like, that's it. Like, you
Right.
told me this is the greatest movie ever.
Yeah.
yeah.
Some
Alright.
movies need to be seen in the theater. Like,
Yeah.
like movies
For sure.
like Skinamarink. Like, that theater experience was completely different than watching it at home. Same thing with, I know, Wes, you were in a sequel to the Blair Witch Project, but when I saw the Blair Witch Project, that in the theater was a different animal than watching it on video years, like afterwards. And by the way, I did like your Blair Witch Project. I know some people, whatever.
No,
I did
everyone
like it.
loved it.
That movie ruled.
No, I like.
appreciate that, Kevin.
I
Thank you
I
so
talked
much.
to you about it like on a previous show, and then I went back and I watched it again. And I'm like, I don't know why people would talk crap. Like, it's a
Yeah.
solid movie.
Well, thanks,
like-
man. Appreciate that.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
but anyways, that being said, I do want to play the trailer for The House Among the Trees. I'm doing it in a roundabout way because I'm playing it off of a browser. So give me 1 second. And please, someone let me know if the audio doesn't come through.
What the fuck?
I don't know how to explain what we've gotten ourselves into. All I know is that we are gonna have to fight our way out of it. Tooth and nail. We're gonna have to drag ourselves through the dirt. We're gonna have to swallow blood.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hooray.
That looks like a damn good movie, fellas.
I'll tell you what, it was a good movie. It was. Why is it still?
But why was it a good movie?
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear what you guys call it.
I'm throwing it back.
Why was it a good movie? I mean, there was good tension. I cared about the characters, and
Here we are.
one thing that Tony and I that we're cursed with is trying to figure out a movie. Like, we can't help ourselves from trying to figure out a movie. And there were some things that we thought we like. At least for me, there were some things that I'm like, it's gonna go here next, and then I was wrong. So that if a movie's able to do that, like you've sold me.
We hear that quite a lot, so that's good.
Yeah.
And so that's good. Yeah.
And that's the one thing too. Like, it's in that like bracket that you don't see all the time. It's like most movies you have like a good versus evil. This is like an evil versus evil, which is less evil, and then it's like, who do I cheer for at the end of it? Because you first get into it, and you're like, okay, well, these guys aren't that good, and then they, stuff happens, and then you're like, who do I like more in this situation? And then you don't see it often. Usually it's like, okay, like you have your clear cut good and evil, and it's definitely one of those things you don't see too often. So
Yeah.
Wolfie's pointing out that all good horror fans are trying to figure out a film, which is true, but unfortunately, not all movie viewers are good horror fans.
But then the thing too is like sometimes I think too hard, and I got to rewatch it. Because then I'm like, did I miss something? Because I thought I knew what was going on.
I was sold so quickly on this one too, that it took me a while. Then I saw the title of the movie, and I was just like, I didn't realize that. Like, I thought that it was like the title was like popped up earlier, and I'm
Yeah.
like, so much happened. Like, and like I was sold. Like it was just I was like kind of like, all right, I'm in. Let's go, let's do this. Like, and I was like, oh wait, they just announced the movie. I'm like, because you guys you go a little bit before you put the title up, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy when a movie does that, especially when they're able to keep my attention before that happens. You know.
We had a lot of talks about that. Exactly
Where to put the title was a big.
Yeah, there was 2 spots in particular that we were really toying with, and it just made more sense to put it where you guys have seen it. It just seemed to make more sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 15, 30 minutes in, somewhere around there. I don't know. It's something like that. And I remember us going back and forth very heavily, actually, about it. And I can't remember what exactly the reason was for us going with where it's at now, other than I think it just made sense because they're leaving a certain location that I won't disclose. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. And so that's when it's like it all comes together and we finish our story.
Well, it happens later in the film than it initially did. And I'm a huge title card comes up late.
Same.
Cards come up at specific times. And I felt like, in the screenplay, I think that I wrote anytime I write a screenplay, I write certain I guess editing choices, which some directors hate, but it is what it is. I think I wrote title card, The House Among the Trees, on page 42. It was way later than it even is now. Where it is in the movie just made more sense, especially with the score and whatnot. I think we're all kind of on the same page.
I think we all kind of watched it several times to try to get a feeling for it, and it just felt right, you know.
Yeah.
Thought. So
I agree. With what you were saying about where they're leaving, it does make sense. It totally makes sense.
Yeah, because okay, we'll talk about it after. We'll talk after.
Okay.
What we can say is people have now seen the teaser trailer. The whole movie is not set inside of a house. So, you can tell that from. There are exteriors in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the thing too in this movie. There really isn't sometimes there's a lull period. This movie started, and then there was very few little breaks. It was sometimes I need them little let me get my breath or something. And this one it's just go and keep on. It's oh, all right, okay, here's a little break. Let me take a sometimes there's slow burn movies where the whole movie is this one starts and goes, and I'm okay.
Well, and that's I feel especially with Blair and I, that's movies we love watching and making those kind of movies, just all gas and brakes, man. Of course there's times for it when you got to slow it down, but it's we like that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we I think every movie that we were using as a reference point was just a frenetic set in one night kind of movie. And yeah, those because they're essentially unfolding in real time, there's no downtime at all. You're not.
You're right, because it is all unfolding right in real time. So it definitely changes the dynamic of the script.
Because that too, some of the movies I watch, it's like a comedic break, and this one it has its moments where it's okay, I laughed at it, but it's not it's thrown at you this is supposed to be. It's okay, some people might find it funny and not. But I'm used to, I'm a huge horror comedy guy, and that's why I'm so used to break and whatever. But this one, it was just oh, okay, just keep on going. I'm all right.
Yeah,
I'm here for the ride though.
We kind of look at the comedy. Go ahead. No, you're good, bro. Go ahead.
Balancing the comedy was something that Tyler and I talked about a lot, and we even shot the movie kind of certain scenes multiple times where it's let's do it where if we need to cut this very seriously, we'll have the coverage to do so. If we want to cut this more with levity and comedic beats, let's get it that way as well, because we knew it might work, it might not work. And there are certain scenes now that, like, some of my favorite scenes in the movie have like really funny comedic beats that we shot without those. And like Wes, I think the funniest moment in the movie is one of Wes's deliveries. And it's like a really quiet moment that, like, in the screenplay wasn't written to be funny. But like how he performs it is so hilarious to me. But
Is it in a car?
it is the scene of you in the car.
Okay.
Yeah. But there are, specifically with comedy and horror, I really wanted to avoid the movie laughing at itself. Like, I wanted all the humor to come from, like, the circumstances that these characters found themselves in. And, like, how would you deal with that in real life and not, like, sight gags, I guess. I never wanted the movie to, like, make fun of itself and be like, oh, this is like a movie.
Yeah, for me, it was more the interactions between everybody as opposed to like a specific scene. It was like reactions or like just, you know, dialogue between everybody, and I'm like, okay, like I try to be just somewhat funny in that situation or try to whatever. So it wasn't like a specific scene, but it was like interactions or reactions that got me, you know, giggling.
I think it's relatable, you know, like any group of friends has that kind of dynamic where they joke and stuff. And, you know, this is, I don't know, there's so many moments in the movie where I'm like, I can see these characters' hearts through the screen. And that sounds so freaking cheesy, but I truly can. And, I don't know, I'm just really proud of the trio, you know. I think that we, having not known each other, really, you know, came together and everything fit together really well. And I felt like I knew them pretty fast, except for that Cullen guy. That guy over there.
Yeah,
Nefarious gentleman.
I've watched the sunset behind Cullen. It's been so nice.
I know, yeah, you get to see that now. It's dark.
One thing it did take me a good like few minutes to realize that it was Elsie Holt.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen him look so badass before.
Yeah,
dude, that was the whole point, man. We were like, we got to give LC a role that is the complete opposite of everything he's ever done, and so we gave him this like Frank Zappa type vibe.
Tyler, I don't know if you remember. So, by the way, LC, like, I guess I shouldn't say bullied me into writing him a part, because like I was happy to do so. But he messaged me, and it sounded like threatening. He was like, "There better be a part for me in this movie." And I was like, right, sure. He calls me PT. He was like, "There better be a part in this movie for me, PT." And I was like, "Done." And I'd been cast in a movie that he was acting in, and we were supposed to have scenes together, and then ended up not happening. So I was like, damn, man, I really wanted to like act with him. So that's why I have a lot of scenes with Elsie Holt. But the funny thing about his appearance in this movie, Tyler, I was living with Tyler while we shot this, and Elsie came in, I want to say like 4 days after we started. It was like a few days after. And like, if you've ever made a like micro budget indie movie, you know, like there are a million things you're juggling at all times. And so I had, like, in the back of my mind, I kind of forgotten that we had yet to see like Elsie in costume. And Tyler is at his desk and just like loses his shit laughing. And he was like, "We got the shot of Kent." And showed us like how he looked. Like Elsie had like shaved his beard and like had the full costume and everything on. And I was like, "Oh my God, this dude like became this character." And he did. And he's kind of unrecognizable if you've seen him in other stuff. Like he does not like how he looks in this film.
I was just like, he kind of looked like Elsie Holt, but and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's him. And I didn't even pause it and look it up. I waited for the credits.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm pretty sure it's him. But even the accent and everything, I was like, oh, he's doing a really good accent if it's him. Like he's doing well.
He's so funny in the movie too. He has so many little lines and little faces that he makes, little reactions.
This is Frank Zappa. This looks literally just like him in this.
Yeah. Well, I know who Frank Zappa is. Believe me. I'm a music nerd. But whatchamacallit? What was I going to say? I totally just lost my train of thought. Oh, Maria's saying she's so excited about this movie.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Whenever it's available.
Yes. Go find it where it's playing in a theater, and maybe you get to meet the guys. And
Yeah, come to Kentucky. Everybody wants to come to Kentucky.
come on down to Kentucky.
I don't know where that's.
What did you say?
I
You
thought
don't
you.
know?
You don't know.
Oh, I
where-
said I don't even know where Kentucky's at.
You don't?
He's been to Kentucky. That's where we met.
What do you mean?
I know. I'm just kidding. That is a good point. We did meet there too.
So now you said on the set it was a little bit more open. Was it because you said the project before wasn't really the vibe that you wanted? Is that what you brought to this one, or it was all of you have acted before? Is it one of those things where it's like, okay, I've done this side of it before, I would want to have a little bit more say in it? Is that why it was a little bit more lenient or something, or how does it work like that?
I think it's both. And what I mean by that is some of it, yes, stemmed from wanting to try things our way, to be honest with you, and see if we could do it, to be honest. And then the other half is oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. I had something good there though.
Contagious.
We'll see if
that part, it'll come through.
Yeah, so I guess I come to that.
Sorry, I got it. I'm sorry. It came to me. I knew it would come to me right as you started talking. I think some of it also is just kind of like how we work. Like Blair as a screenwriter is open to collaboration and open to me giving notes. He's also and vice versa, and so is the actors and everything. Go ahead, Blair. Sorry.
So yeah, like I come to that from like a unique perspective of like a writer who's also acting in a movie, and I had done a couple like. I'm not really an actor, and I had only acted in 2 movies before this, but doing that has made me a better screenwriter and a better director because I now realize like what actors need from both of those. They need a screenplay that's worth a shit and a director who directs them, and that's something that like you don't realize like what you need to say to an actor until you've directed before or been an actor, which side of that you're coming from. But as a screenwriter, I've never been precious with the words. And if you're a selfless filmmaker, you should always want the movie to be better, regardless of who's contributing, the right thing. And I've worked with screenwriters who are like, the word is God. Like, that's, it's on the page. Like, say what's on the page. And it's, well, what's on the page kind of sucks on this page. Like, here's a better idea. And and sometimes like things that sound good in your head don't sound good when the actor's performing. It doesn't feel natural to them, and therefore they're going to give like an awkward line reading. And with this one, I made sure, and like the director can say that to the actors, but I feel like as the writer saying, "Hey, I'm not going to get mad at you if you reword this," goes a really long way, because like people don't want to piss off the writer for whatever reason. They have no power. I don't know why. But like people are very like, what in the screenplay it says this, but it's like, yeah, you can change that word if it feels weird to you. And I try to make that clear, but people are, and I do appreciate when actors don't want to hurt your feelings by being like, this feels awkward, but for the betterment of the movie, if something feels weird, talk to the writer about it and explain why you feel that way. And I'm sure you will come to a good conclusion. Molly did that on this. Molly Souza, I knew I was going to work with her forever moving forward. When the first day she's shooting this movie, she's like, I don't want to offend the writer, but I don't like this line. And I was like, well, what you have in mind? And she told me, and I was like, I like that more. So let's go with that.
That's the day Cullen found out Blair wrote it.
Basically.
He's like, why is this guy chiming in?
No, I think that's what kind of ties with what I was talking about earlier, right? Where it's like you guys give the freedom to be able to, sort of explore different options as far as what is true in that scene. At least for me as an actor, working with everyone, it was like you guys gave us the platform to be able to figure out what we wanted to do in that moment, right? I mean, when you guys see the movie, there's a lot of different, there's scenes that, where some of our characters are very angry. There's a lot of, action. There's a lot of, chaos going on. And, sometimes when you're acting that out, you feel like you might have, when you're memorizing your lines and you're running through these scenes, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do when, cameras are rolling and we're, Tyler says action. And then it's a complete different story when you're in the middle of it looking, face to face with Wes Robinson or Blair. And it's like, oh, like this is completely different than what I thought it was. But that's where sort of the magic happens. You sort of let loose and you just sort of see where the scene takes you. And I think it really helps the fact that you have people like Wes, Blair, and Tyler who allow you as an actor to, sort of figure out those creative ideas and, choices in the moment, especially when you're trying to really, convey a specific, I would say, sort of like a mood or a certain choice that you're using in that specific scene, right? If you're really heated, I mean, there's a couple of scenes that Wes and I are, arguing with each other, and I remember I blacked out. I don't remember what I said, to be honest with you. I don't even remember what the original line was, but yeah.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's all. I was just adding to what you were saying, Blair, and mentioning what Tyler you do and Wes as an actor. It's like we allow that creative freedom.
Dude.
To really just, we know what the script is and we know our lines. We also understand, the context of what's going on in that scene. But, Tyler and Blair, they really allow you to explore those options and give you that sort of freedom that a lot of actors sometimes don't get in certain projects. And that's what I really enjoy this.
People should take heed, because how many times in like popular movies they're like, oh, that wasn't even in the script. It was one of those like off keel or off shoot, and it becomes like iconic, where it's like that wasn't supposed to happen, but it's on camera and they went with it, and that's what you see. And it's like, oh, this was supposed to be something completely different. So it's one of those deals where I think some people should look at that and be like, it can work.
My favorite example of that is you hit me with the phone, dick.
Right.
Yeah, and scream. And it's just, I mean, I'm sure it's happened where it goes the opposite way, where someone takes it a little bit too far or too off keel and too off course. But then, of course, you get the people that know what they're doing, and it's like, I'll just tweak it a little bit, and then, it becomes, perfection almost kind of thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's done in the edit. And like Tyler edited this movie, and the original cut that I saw was very different.
Yeah.
Like tonally very different. And yeah, I mean a lot of that.
There's a few times where we had a couple of fully improv scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
what I was gonna say.
I'm trying to think of. There's one in particular. I know. I was like, I don't know if any of them like made the cut or not. Not because it wasn't about the acting.
No, and what I've dealt with this in the past is like a lot of times, like when actors think of improv, they immediately go to humor. I think we all do it, and so they were just like they were actually funny, but they were too silly to fit in the movie. There's one that Wes really hates.
Yeah.
There is one that I hate.
I stepped in a pool that day.
Well, all these will be on the Blu-ray. Don't worry about it. You'll be able to see them whenever the Blu-ray comes out.
Yeah.
It involves Cullen and Blair on level ground and a very short Wes on a hill in frame and about a foot.
We were running and gunning. I guess we could talk about it since it's not in there. Well, okay, so there's a scene where they're explaining what they're going to do next.
It's the exposition scene of the movie that we got.
Yeah, and they're trying to, and so I had to shoot it really quick. Wasn't even in the script, so we're like, all right, framed up, got the spot figured out, good. Okay, you guys are gonna run up here, and I'm gonna pan the camera down, and then you're gonna deliver your lines. You're gonna run past camera. So we do it.
Down until he finds me. I'm here somewhere. Oh, there I am.
Okay, so basically, what ended up happening is we were just getting it done so quickly. I didn't realize that Wes stepped in a 6-foot fucking hole. And so the other two dudes are here, and Wes is like down here, and it's so egregious. It's just
We're all basically the same height too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny too. I wish I was as tall as Cullen. Yeah, I think he's got one on us though.
I think we're all like an inch taller. Like I think I'm an inch taller than you. He's an inch taller than me.
Yeah.
But like roughly.
But what made it so great was, the consummate professional that I am. We kept going with it, and I am delivering these. I can't remember what my lines were, but I'm delivering these lines straight up at Cullen. Like my whole neck, the back of my head is touching my spine.
So that scene was half improvised. It was a scene that was in the screenplay, and then we kind of scrapped it. But then it was like, it would be cool to shoot something here. Let's just like take that scene and kind of rework it, and make it this.
But sadly, it's not in the movie.
There are a couple like 80-yard lines that we stole from that scene that are in the movie.
Yes.
That people probably can't even. Never be able to
That's
tell.
everything too short, but we do have to wrap things up.
Right on.
Thank you so
much. It's been awesome talking to you guys about the movie. The movie's great. Obviously, I want everyone to check it out. If it's coming to your area, do so. Go check it out. But how will they know if it's coming to the area? Do you all post all this on your social medias?
We all share everything, but to be honest, if you want to stay immediate up to date, go follow Eye for Eye Productions. That's on Instagram. It's the easiest way to stay up to date. Same thing with Facebook. There's a Facebook group that is the House Among the Trees film. Every time we have a new screening, it will be posted there. Every time there's an update about the film, an event coming up, or whatever it is, it will immediately be updated on there as soon as we're able to do so. So that is the best way. And like I said, at some point, we're hoping, sort of going to try to get a sort of tour with this thing going if we can make it happen. So it will be playing in other cities. So if you want to see it, reach out to us. Let us know where, and we'll make it happen. So
I wanted to say
we are completely serious about that.
Yeah, no, like very serious. Like that. Like if someone hits us up and needs it in, New York, it's going to play in New York.
Go off of what Tyler was saying really quick. I just wanted to mention too, if you're watching this and you want to know more about it, you can go to thatmovie.com. It's THATT movie.com. And there's a synopsis.
Please go to that website. Wes worked very hard on it.
Yes, I did. And there's posters, a teaser. There's screening announcements on there. What else? There's who did the music.
Our recognitions are on there. Everything's on there.
Yeah,
all the great reviews we've gotten thus far.
Yeah, all of our laurels are on there. I had to get another domain just to fit them all, but
Oh my God, dude! What are you
I'll make
talking?
sure I put the links because the audio part of the podcast is going to go up on Thursday, so I'll put all that in the show notes. So if you're listening to this, go check the links down below. So Tyler, is there anywhere else you want people to follow you, like as far as like for your other work or anything like that? Like any other?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the other place that you can keep updated with my work personally is just Tyler Horner with 2 R's and Tyler on Instagram. That's probably the best place you can get a hold of me or see what I'm up to. And I'm sure with the other guys, if you guys want to plug yourself, go for it.
Sure. Cullen, what about yourself?
Yeah, my Instagram handle is clovelockdown. Pretty basic, but yeah.
I'll clap.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate you, man. He's always my hype man right there.
I was just going to say also to plug some things. If you are in the area of the Kentucky screening, it is KentuckyTheater.org. Like I said before, with theaters RE, not ER, and we'd love to have you there. We'd love to meet you and talk about the movie and celebrate it all together. So it's on July 17th at 7:30 p.m. in Lexington.
And there's free goodies.
Yep.
There are free goodies.
Come hang out with us. We are approachable.
We're
people.
so fun.
Yeah.
Out of our way to be that. So that. And yeah, I'm Blair_Hoyle on everything. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. I'm not on TikTok and won't be. BlairHoyle.biz is my website. I haven't updated in like 3 years.
Nice.
Kevin and Tony are like, wrap it up. You got 30 seconds.
No. Wes, what about yourself?
Oh, it's Wes.Robinson on Instagram. And that's pretty much where I post most things. I mean, I do Facebook a little bit, but yeah.
Nice. Well, Tony's the man on TikTok. How many followers
All right.
are you up to?
Almost 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Almost 30
like,
30 followers.
That pause
No,
is incredible.
Yeah.
almost 30 followers. No, almost 30,000. I'm at like 29,000.
Nice, dude.
So yeah,
That's
slowly getting there. Pretty much, I just show off the
Yeah, he
movie
just
collection and
Talks
stuff.
about the movies.
On you can find me on YouTube. Tony has 9 fingers. I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. I haven't done much for the longest time because I'm more focused on TikTok, but they're there. I got videos up there. Tony has 9 fingers on X, which I don't use, but it's in my shtick. Tony has 9 fingers on TikTok, which, like I said, is my quickest growing, the one I show off the most. Tony's movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here on the Wicked Horror Show most Tuesdays, whether we have awesome guests or it's just horror movie talk. I'd say watch us instead of listen to us, but do both because you get to see the awesome trailers and stuff, but you can also listen to them. So
Yeah.
but yeah, Kevin.
Oh yeah.
Just A Knuckle on Instagram. You can also go back and listen to old episodes of The Re-Education of Nancy Ann Ritter, and also old episodes of That Strange Show and all of that. Supposedly we're going to do some new That Strange Show coming up. We'll see. I don't know when that's going to happen.
She's great.
But yeah, that's about that. So thanks for watching / listening, and we'll see you guys later. And thanks for making such a cool movie, guys, and go check it out when you can.
Yep,
Thank you
thank
for having